Hello, welcome back to our devotional video for today. Today we are talking about Peter's confession of his sins. The only problem is that there isn't one. This is, obviously taking place in John chapter 21, and the confession of sins, the sins that Peter would be talking about, is when he denied Jesus 3 times. And we see on the beach he and Jesus interacting for the first time since, but there isn't actually a confession. There's not a I'm sorry, Jesus. And Jesus says, I forgive you. There's not that. So was Peter really sorry for his sins? Did he miss the mark by not formally, writing a formal written apology and, giving the 3 points of what he was going to do to make things better? Was it not heartfelt? No, it was heartfelt, and it was a confession of sins. You know, the in the previous chapters when he did deny Jesus 3 times, he wept bitterly when he realized his sin. Going back to the beginning to the S of scars, when he was convicted and realized that he had sinned, that he had made a big mistake, the law cut him to the heart. He felt the weight of his guilt, the weight of the sin that he had committed, and he wept bitterly. One of those ugly cries that you get every couple of years, where tears and snot just all over your face. That's the kind of weeping bitterly that Peter had. And then also we see when he and Jesus are talking on the beach in John 21, when Jesus asks him for the third time if he loves him, Peter realizes, oh, this is the third time because I denied you 3 times. And he's cut to the heart then too. Lord, you know all things. You know that I love you. He said that from a broken place. God doesn't need to have us say the exact words. You know, Going through the whole Bible, looking at the commandments and laws that God gave his people, it was never about the actual actions, right? The actions were important, but God cared far more about the state of their heart. That's why Jesus said, when he was asked about asked about the 10 Commandments, Jesus said, "Well, you've heard it said, do not commit adultery. But I say, if you even look at a woman lustfully, you've committed adultery." And that, he uses a few more examples, but that just gets to the point that it's not about the surface level stuff. It's not about checking a box. Did I commit this actual sin of adultery or murder or stealing? It's about, where was my heart? Did I actually have a formal uh, confession of sins asking for forgiveness, or where was my heart? Jesus also tells us how to pray to God, and it's not a having the perfect words, but it's a posture of the heart. God cares more about the heart than he does you coming to him with the right words. Sometimes we don't have the right words, but Paul tells us in Romans that when we don't have the right words, the Spirit intercedes for us with groanings too deep for words. It's the same when it comes to our sin. When the law has worked on our heart and has crushed us with the weight and the burden of our sin, realizing that sin is and can be a confession of sin. And so, yeah, Peter definitely did confess his sin. He made his sin known before God. He admitted the truth of, I'm a sinful being, and God forgave him. The same is true for us when we realize the state of our heart and we realize that we are sinners. God forgives us too. We continue and will continue to learn a lot from Peter as we go through the rest of our forgiving challenge. And I pray that you continue to just get a lot of rich goodness from it. May God bless the rest of your day.